Welcome back. Welcome back to Kenton and Habiba. I'm really excited to share some fall-inspired cooking today. But first, I need to pick out a cast iron pot. Is this the right size? Is that one too shallow? Is this one too big? Definitely going to use this pumpkin-shaped pot for something. So this one needs a good scrub because we haven't used it all year. Nope. I only take these cast iron pots out during the fall and winter. It's a little chilly outside. First thing I want to make is some savory beef with some mushrooms, creamy mashed potatoes, and fried plantain. I start off with a large piece of beef that I got the day before. Wow, y'all, beef is so expensive.
Yeah, it is.
This 2 packs, $46. Wow.
Well, it's about $10 per pound.
This is stew beef.
So this is 4 pounds, 4.5 pounds.
To be honest, we don't eat beef that much. We eat mostly chicken or fish. So anyway, I've got the meat here. I'm just going to go ahead and cube it. I could really use this for 2 meals, but I'm going to end up cooking all of it. So yeah, I'm just cutting it into cubes. Once the meat has been cut, you can rinse it off with some water and lemon juice, drain it, and then we're ready for some spice. So when it comes to seasoning, these are the basics for me. I use a little bit of Caribbean flavors plus all-purpose seasoning, garlic powder, paprika, salt, pepper, pimento, and then I mix it all up, making sure all of the meat gets some of the seasoning. If I had time, ideally, I would put this in the fridge to marinate, but not today. Anyway, I'm also adding some gluten-free soy sauce, and this has like 50% less salt in it, and again, it's gluten-free. Now I'm just mixing everything really well. I could have used my hands like I did earlier, but when you have turmeric, it can stain your hands and your fingernails, and yeah, it's not a cute look. I have about 2 tablespoons of oil in the pot, and now I'm adding the seasoned beef. On a different note, my favorite season of the year typically is spring and summer. I kind of like warm weather. I know a lot of people prefer the cooler weather. But one thing I do love about fall are the cozy meals. And also, I tend to feel a little bit more inspired to do more cooking. So, I shared recently that I was going through a creative slump. I was just feeling down about everything, things in my private life, things in the U.S. as a whole. It's a lot, right? But we're not going to rehash that negativity. No. We're trying to be positive. We're trying to be positive about the future. And I'm trying to be optimistic about the fall season, and I'm looking forward to sharing more recipes with you. I've also been doing a lot of hair tutorials recently and trying to find balance, between what I really love and everything else. So anyway, look out for more recipes. So right now I'm chopping up some onions and peppers. So no tomatoes, just onions and peppers. And then I'm going to dice some garlic. Let's pretend you didn't see that garlic flying off the counter. Don't worry, I did pick it up. Peeling garlic can be such a pain, and I know you can buy it already peeled in a jar, which Kenton often does, but I prefer the fresh garlic. I like to peel it myself. But anyway, garlic is so healthy. It's got antibacterial and antiviral properties. It can help boost your immune system. It lowers blood pressure. It improves heart health. And there are claims that it may help prevent cancer. So it has a lot of nutritional and medicinal properties. Whenever possible, I use it to cook. So my seasoned beef has been on the fire for over 5 minutes, and you see how much liquid is generated? That's a lot of liquid, and I haven't added any water. So I want that to evaporate. So I'm leaving the lid open, and this is what it looks like once, all of that liquid has evaporated, all of that flavor is sealed into the meat and it's looking good. And ooh, if you could smell it, if you could smell it. You see, I have also the bay leaf in there. Next, I add the chopped garlic. Okay, and I want that to get a little bit toasted, a little bit caramelized before I add anything else. So don't burn the garlic, but just, get it a little bit toasted. It's gonna add so much flavor. I went ahead and added the onions and peppers, and I'm adding 2 cups of water. Mixing that well, and I'm gonna let this simmer. Next, I'm gonna move on to making some homemade mashed potatoes. Not the powdered type, but from scratch. So I have my Irish potatoes ready to go. And yeah, I know I look real basic today, but we're in cooking mode, and this is as real as you're gonna get. No glam today. All right, a little salt in the hot water, and here comes the cubed peeled potatoes. I'm gonna boil them until they are nice and soft. Now this potato I'm going to cut into small cubes. This is actually for my beef stew, to help thicken the beef stew. So typically you can add cornstarch or flour to thicken the stew, or you can add a cubed potato. So you see, here's the gravy, or what people call a stew. You can see the liquid in there is a little bit watery. So adding the cubed potato once the meat is cooked will thicken it. The meat is not cooked, so I will not add the potato yet. When you're trying to be efficient, it's all about multitasking when it comes to cooking. So I have the potatoes cooking or boiling, I have the beef stew on, and while that's going, I'm cutting up the scallions. So you see the part with the bulbs, I'm going to cut up and put in the pot now, whereas the green stems, or the part that would have been like leaves, I will leave till later because they cook quickly. So yeah, I'm just dicing up the scallion, the bulbs, and that will go in the pot now. Here are my baby Bella mushrooms. I love mushrooms. They're so healthy, but they will go in the pot once the meat and potatoes are done, so I will not put them in yet. So make sure you wash them well, but don't soak them in water or else they'll get kind of weirdly mushy. So yeah, wash them properly, get rid of the sand. Here are the potatoes to go in the stew once the meat is done. Then later I put in the mushrooms and the scallions because they cook quickly. All right, so my potatoes for my mashed potatoes are done. I've drained off the water, and now I'm just gonna go ahead and mash that. Old-fashioned masher with a little bit of salted butter and some milk. So you can also add some sour cream to it and chives and a little bit of salt and pepper. I'll be honest, when my kids were young, I often used the powdered mashed potatoes, the flakes in the box, but there's just something about homemade mashed potatoes from scratch. It tastes better, and I don't have to worry about preservatives and whatever other artificial ingredients are in those boxes. Even though they tasted pretty good at times. But anyway, these taste better. So make your homemade mashed potatoes nice and creamy. As much as I love beef, I can't stand tough, chewy meat. So I like to make sure I've given it enough time. And in this case, this stewed beef has been simmering for 2 hours. Yeah, you heard me right, 2 hours. I need that meat to be nice and soft and buttery. And once it is soft, then I add the potatoes. So the potatoes do not go in until the meat is soft or cooked. And then the potatoes are going to thicken the gravy or thicken the stew. Okay, let's talk about mushrooms. If you want to bring out the flavor of mushrooms, toast them in some butter or saute them in some butter first and then put them in the stew. But today I'm just going to slice them and add them directly to the stew, right? So mushrooms are so healthy. They've got a lot of potassium, which will help lower your blood pressure, and they're also good for heart health. They are low calories. They have a lot of vitamin D, so that means they're good for your bone health. They have a lot of antioxidants. They support your immune system and just overall nutrient dense. So if you haven't had some mushrooms lately, this is your sign to get some mushrooms. Oh, I'm obsessed with mushrooms. I don't know why I don't eat them more often. If you know me, you already know what's coming next. Some plantain, because we have to appease the African side of us and the Caribbean side of us. We like a side of plantain whenever possible, okay? And yes, it's got sugar, yes, it's got carbs, but none of us are diabetic here, knock on wood, thank God. I am cutting it on a diagonal, which is more of a Caribbean style or way of cutting it. Africans tend to cut it straight down. Anyway, I am frying it, but you can also be healthier and grill it or bake it or boil it. It's up to you, but it's delicious. Finally, our beef stew is done, and if only you could smell it. Ooh, if you could smell it. Look at it. The beef is done. It's nice and soft and tender. The potatoes are well cooked. The mushrooms, everything is marinated. The scallions, all that flavor. You see how soft that is? Good. What?
It's very good. It's nice and rich, hearty.
It's hearty. Is it too spicy?
No, it's fine.
Good.
Nice. It's good.
You know that feeling when you're tired but also hungry? Oh, this definitely hits the spot. Definitely hits the spot. It's a new day and I can't wait to share another recipe with you, but let's take a little backyard break and then we'll come back and do some baking later this evening. The fig leaves have all fallen off, but they'll come back next year. Ah, there's one tiny leaf left. One tiny struggling leaf, but all of them have come off because it's fall. And then the leaves of this avocado plant or tree have dried up. Typically I bring this indoors so it can survive another winter. But yeah, this poor hibiscus, this is not because it's dry. You see the leaves, how shriveled they look? This is because of the cold overnight. So I better bring this in soon. You have certain plants like, I believe this is gardenia, that survive the cold. You see the leaves are kind of waxy and glossy and still in very good condition despite every other plant looking like it's half dead. And I have this bromeliad here, another little orchid, ZZ plant. This has looked better, so this needs to come inside for sure. This is the plant I got from my mother, a cutting. And then this plant, which is like what they call a pony plant, it's been struggling. You see all the brown leaves? That's struggle. It's not supposed to look like that. Earlier in the year, it was like big, bushy, green. And then this is a little bit of mint. There's this oak tree. The leaves are still mostly green, but you can see a lot of the leaves have fallen down. If you look at that table down there that we hardly use. So yes, it's beginning to look like fall. Later in the evening, it's cold, it's dark, it definitely feels like fall. In the background, I have these walking tours of New York City showing all the homes decorated for Halloween. And it's a good time to bake. What are we making? So what are we making? We have some salt, some sugar, some half and half, some eggs, some bananas, some butter, some spice, some vanilla, some baking powder, some flour. Yes, we're making banana bread. So I forgot to let the butter out to room temperature, so I'm just going to put it in the microwave to defrost it, soften the butter, and then we're going to put it in our mixer. So, yeah, when the mixer comes out, you know it's fall. Hey, by the way, this is your reminder to soak your fruit for those of you that make Caribbean cake, right? Do you have your fruit soaking yet? I've been soaking mine for over a year. So anyway, we've creamed our butter. Now I'm adding my eggs. Do you take the eye out of the egg, or is that not necessary? I do it. All right, so in goes the eggs with the cream butter. And then one by one, we'll put all the ingredients. We put the wet ingredients first and then the dry ingredients to make our banana bread. Once I added the eggs to the butter, I realized that the whisk attachment would be better if I wanted things, creamed properly or whisked properly. So I'm just going to switch it up. Thank God making banana bread is not hard to do. It's really simple ingredients because unfortunately I'm not going to be able to eat this. As you can see, I'm using all-purpose flour and I have to adhere to a gluten-free diet. So yeah, this is for the family, not for me, but hopefully it turns out okay. So I have washed and dried my loaf pans and now I am buttering it or greasing it with the wrappers from the stick of butter. So yeah, always save those wrappers when you're baking because it helps to keep your container non-stick. Now my hands are a little bit too greasy, so I have to rinse them off. And the water is a little bit too hot, Habiba. Turn it down. Okay, I have a question for you. Since you were paying attention, what's in the banana bread? I'm waiting. What's in the banana bread? As if you're going to answer and tell me. We have flour, we have eggs, we have sugar, a little bit of salt, we have vanilla, we have cinnamon, we had maybe some pumpkin spice, a little bit of nutmeg, and I think that was it. Oh, and a little half and half or milk. And the bananas, of course. Did I say cinnamon? And of course, don't forget the baking powder. Yeah, or else it won't rise. Now here comes the part we all hate. Clean up. Baking can create such a mess, right? But it's so much easier if you clean up immediately after, especially the mixing bowl. Oh my God, if you let that sit, it's going to harden and it's going to be so much more difficult to wash. So it's so much easier, just wash it immediately you're done. Anyway, you see this mixer? This is the professional Kenmore mixer. I've had it for at least 20 years. I'm not joking. This thing is solid. 20 years. The silver one. And then the one in the corner, the red one in the back, I got after my grandfather passed away. I've had that one for about 10 years. Okay, our banana bread is done. It's done. And ooh, it smells so good. Y'all, it smells so good. At least Mariam will have something to eat in the morning. I was a little worried it was going to be a little too hard, but look, it's nice and soft and squishy, which is good, and it's cooked. However, I could have added a little bit more baking powder so that it could rise a little bit more, but it's okay as long as it tastes good and it smells amazing. Anyway, so the white platter is if I was going to share it out right now, but honestly, once it cools down, I'm actually going to put it in the plastic tub. That way it can store better. So I made some banana bread that I can't eat. So what am I gonna have for dessert, you ask? Or no one asked, but I'm gonna show you anyway. This is what I am gonna have for dessert. Or a little snack, naughty snack. Apples are good for you. Then I add 100% lime juice to the apples to prevent them from browning, or fresh lime or lemon would be better. And then this is what makes it naughty, a little bit of chocolate hazelnut spread. So delicious. Ah, my dear, but so naughty. Don't do this if you have sugar problems, okay? Do not. Or very sparingly. Yum. My final recipe for the day, some spiced apple cider. This is the best time of the year to drink this. Instead of the typical way I slice apples, this time I am cutting across so that I get nice full circles of the apple.
Yesterday, there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane. And as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise.
This is the apple cider I got a few days ago from Wegmans, but first I went to the plant center. Hopefully you watched that vlog. I could live in this place. I could live here. I love being surrounded by plants. And I know I digress. What has this got to do with apple cider? Nothing. I like the visuals. I like being surrounded by flowers. And it just brings back pleasant memories. And it's fall and it's beautiful. And yes, I got some apple cider. I actually ended up getting the larger gallon. If you want your whole house to smell like apple pie, just make this. So simple. Just pour the apple cider into your pot of choice. I'm using the pumpkin-shaped cast iron pot.
Hand in hand, building castles out of sand, reaching for the
I added my apple slices and now I'm adding some cranberries. You can also add some orange slices if you have. Once you add your fruit to your apple cider, then you can add your spice, like cinnamon, cloves, star anise, nutmeg. You can have the powder or the whole, or you can do a combination of both. It's got ground cinnamon in it, organic ground ginger, organic ground nutmeg, ground allspice, and cloves. So that's why I like using this instead of just straight cinnamon. But of course, if you have powdered cinnamon, you can also add that too, or use this instead of the stick cinnamon. I like to do a little bit of both. You can do the seed allspice, which I have, but I also prefer the powder sometimes. Little allspice. Not too much, just a little. Now some people like to add brown sugar to it as well, but I feel like the apple cider's already sweet, so I'm not adding any brown sugar. And then if you want to be a little naughty, once it comes to a boil, you can add a little bit of rum. And you can also put maybe a little bit of caramel on the rim of the glass as you serve it. And you just want this to simmer for as long as you like, until all the flavors marinate. And then you can strain it if you want and then drink it. So see, it's coming to a boil, so I'm going to turn the fire down and put it on simmer and then cover it because I want the flavors to really soak in there. I'm just gonna let that simmer for a few minutes. You can see all of the smoke coming out of it, or the steam, and it makes the place smell so good. Now, which glasses should I use, or mugs should I use? These ones remind me of New York and hot chocolate versus this larger one with reindeer handles.
And now there's something in the air and a sparkly shimmer on our skin, restoring everything within. Dreamy, breezy, we go.
almost tastes like I added sugar to it, and I didn't. No sugar added. It's just very obviously warm, and it just makes you feel like somebody you love gave you a big hug. That's what it feels like. Well, that's what it tastes like. And I added the 2 slices of apple on it for garnish. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed hanging out with me, doing all this cooking. I hope you enjoyed seeing the mashed potatoes and the beef stew and the banana bread and the spiced apple. We did a lot today, didn't we? Comment below what was your favorite item that I made, and also let me know what else you would like to see on the channel. And don't forget to thumbs up and leave me a comment. It helps drive the algorithm because lately it sucks. I don't think too many people are seeing my videos, or most of the people that are subscribed are not seeing my videos. So please make sure you check to see that you are subscribed. Do me that favor. And again, I appreciate you hanging out with me, and I will see you soon.